Are RPG Splat books making a comeback? Hey guys, Bobby here from the GM table, and if my voice is kind of weird, I'm sorry, still getting over bronchitis, but I wanted to get this video out before Christmas, and now it's going to just be a few days before Christmas, but anyways, it's still before Christmas. I want to talk about the new Splat books for Savage Worlds. Yeah, Pinnacle Entertainment has started releasing cheap-ish paperback Splat books at about $15 each with the PDF. After shipping, it's $20, and you have a physical book shipped to your house. It's their new way they're doing supplements. They're still going to be doing Kickstarters, but at least for the time being, we're getting monthly Splat books. And so far, we have 3. I'm going to kind of mini review all of them. Heads up, it's not all good. Guys, I love Savage Worlds, but my biggest thing is I remain critical, especially of the things I love. And I'm going to have to hammer some holes in this stuff. But let's get started. All right, so the first Splat book they came out with was Expedition Amazon for Rippers. Here's the thing. I love so much of this book, but it also has the biggest problem for me. All right, Expedition Amazon has everything you need to take your Rippers campaign to the Amazon, including a full plot point campaign. That's freaking awesome. I love that. Now, the issue comes in where right within the first page, right here, they don't hide this. It's in the stuff on the website when you go to buy it and everything. They let you know you need the Expedition book for this, which is a brand new book. I don't have problems that you need a book. My problem is that the Expedition book only exists digitally. It is free. The fact that you can get it for free and they're free rules, this is great. I'm not complaining about that. It's about the fact that some people don't like PDFs, guys, and that makes this stuff completely worthless because you can't even get a print-on-demand version of the Expedition book. Now, this is partially because, A, the Expedition book's only like 12 pages. It's crazy small. And B, half of those pages are actually things you're going to need to be printing because you're then going to cut them out and use them at the table. And this is where I start to get some problems with some of the choices made with the new Suede stuff. I love the concept of this, but we're bridging into board game territory now. We already have a deck of cards. That deck of cards is so versatile. Well, I do get like we can have a unique deck. Throw a table in there to use a normal deck of cards, and so much of this would be fixed. You want a custom Expedition deck? Cool. Let that be an option. But the fact that you have to print out pages and cut out your own cards to make this deck for rules for your supplements to work is a problem. Because these like custom cards that you're making yourself and all, we're bridging into board game territory and out of RPG territory. All right. It also creates the problem that those decks don't exist in virtual tabletops. Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, if you just want to play over Skype, it's going to be even more difficult. Same problem I have with the Chase rules. That's going to be its whole other thing. When the Chase video comes out, it is coming. By the way, guys, a big reason why it hasn't come out yet is the same problem as this. The Chase rules can only be run at a table. You have to go through so many hoops to get the Chase rules to work online, which is also issues for when it comes to producing videos about them and making them work. This is the Chase rules tenfold. Not that the rules themselves are bad or that using this inherently is bad, but the fact is, it doesn't work for online games. After that, again, I love a lot of what's in the actual Rippers book. Don't like the rules you need to add on and how that's implemented. We're moving on to ETU. We finally have a new ETU book. And yet again, I love a lot of what's in this book, but I got to bring up the gripes. The book itself is great. They were saying this is a new bestiary for East Texas University. It's not. It isn't. Yes, there's some new monsters. There's 5 monsters. That's not a bestiary. 4 of the 5 monsters each have tales made specifically for those monsters in here. And the 5th one I found out through, I think it was Preston. It was either Preston or Ed, the two creators of East Texas University. Let me know that online there's adventures for that fifth monster. I'm reviewing the book, not online additional. So as far as the book's concerned, and especially since I had to be told by a creator that it exists, as far as I'm concerned, that fifth monster doesn't have adventures in here. It's a cool, really fleshed out monster, and the other monsters in here are really cool, really fleshed out. One of them, I would say, isn't even really a monster. They're on the cover right here, these guys. I'm not getting into it. I don't want to spoil it because there's really cool stuff. And if your GM's going to run these, not knowing what they are is a big part of the mystery and part of the fun. So I'm not doing all that. The adventures in here are great. I love the adventures. But the website called this a bestiary. The people selling it in Pinnacle when they were doing ad posts and stuff like that were calling it a bestiary. They were saying how it would add a bunch of monsters to your game. It's 5 monsters. There's things I like about this book, but from honestly a purely ethical standpoint, I can't stand and fully support this book without a massive asterisk to explain that. Because people will buy this book thinking they're getting a bestiary, and if they're not looking for a book of about 9 Savage Tales, they're going to be disappointed and they're going to be unhappy and they're going to spend money for something that wasn't what they were told they were buying. Finally, the third one, I think Pine Box Perils, the new ETU book, was a step up from Rippers. Rippers, great content, but needs material that I have issues with what it forces you to do to run the game. Pine Box Perils, all of the content is great. The marketing around it, I think, was bad. This one, the third one to have come out, and at this point, the last one to come out, the new Last Parsec book, is the guide for interstellar salvage. This book does exactly what it says on the cover. It does it very, very well. It's even written in a way where you don't have to have Last Parsec. If you're just doing a sci-fi game and you want space salvage, this is a go-to book. That makes this a great Splat book. I love this book. I'm going to use this book for my sci-fi games. This is hitting it out of the park. It has adventure generators. It has salvage rules. Again, it is all written in a way where you don't have to be running it in Last Parsec, which means it's incredibly versatile. And for $20 for the physical copy plus shipping, get it to my door. That is great. I'm hoping we were kind of seeing a learning curve for how to get back into doing small-scale Splat books. All of these books are only 28 pages. I also have the small gripe that A, they're staple bound, and B, there's literally no spine. So if these go in a bookshelf, you don't know what these books are till you pull them out. But that's issues with printing, and printing costs are going up, and that's its own set of problems. I can't really criticize too much. They shifted this format just for cost anyways. Printing costs are getting rough. So I'm not docking them for any of that. I wish it was better than staple binding. I wish we could go above exactly 28 pages, because then, like, you could have put the expedition rules in your first expedition book, or figure out a way to do a shortened version, again, with a table using an actual deck of cards, and all of a sudden, this would have been a must-buy. I'm really curious. I haven't heard any announcement of a Splat book for this month, and they're supposed to be every month, but it's also the holidays. So we'll see. I'm probably going to keep reviewing these as they keep coming in. I mean, it's Savage World stuff for one. But with that, I hope that stuff was helpful. If you've been on the fence about getting any of these, I hope this lets you know. If you're running any kind of modern horror and need adventures, this is still a go-to. I would say not just if you're running Rippers, but if you're running any pulp and want to add the Amazon, you can modify this. This one is the most setting dependent, though. You would have to do a good bit of tweaking for this not to actually be Rippers. Let's be honest, Rippers Resurrected Plot Point campaign was very much a rehash and heavily a sequel to the first Rippers setting. This goes in a totally new direction. A whole new direction for Rippers. You're good. And then, like I said, if you're just running a sci-fi game, get this. Especially if you're wanting to run like a Firefly type game or anything where salvage and picking over dead ships is a thing, this is a must-buy book. And it's this cheap little paperback, and it's a must-buy. Anyways, again, I hope that was all useful. I'll catch you guys next time. Hey guys, if you enjoy our content, check out our live games on Twitch, or you can get early access to videos and exclusive GM material on our Patreon. Links to both and more are in the video description below.